So one of the things that we see across all these cases of right-wing populism is an upsurge in violence. And the violence is really working at both ends. So on the one hand, support for these regimes has often been triggered by either real instances or the perception of an increasingly insecure environment. So in Europe and the United States, concerns about terrorism, concern about increasing crime rates has fed into a right-wing rhetoric of the need for greater security. But in the cases that I'm interested in, India and Brazil, this has been a very distinct pattern. In Brazil, crime rates have been up in general, especially in cities. And in India, the BJP, which is the party in power, currently in power, itself has played a role in instigating forms of communal violence, that is, violence between the Muslim, minority Muslim community and the majority Hindu community. But they've also really highlighted the dangers of terrorism in ways that are grotesquely exaggerated and seek to almost automatically stigmatize all Muslims as potential terrorists. And this has created clearly an environment of insecurity, especially with respect to the geopolitical problem of Pakistan. And the BJP has capitalized in part on this concern with security to build increasing support, especially amongst the middle class. So the BJP is now in power. In India, the Bolsonaro is now in power in Brazil. And the biggest concern is that both these governments have actually been very direct in encouraging various kinds of vigilante groups to take the law into their own hands and to become essentially instruments of state power. In the case of India, this takes the form of some of the organizations associated with the BJP organizing lynch mobs and attacking Muslims, supposedly for eating beef. And this has really spread across the country and created a climate of absolute fear and terror for the large Muslim minority in India. And Bolsonaro, in the name of fighting the banditos and criminality, has given a lot of support to the police and given them new legislative powers, but has also essentially been encouraging paramilitary activity. His own son in Rio is associated with some paramilitary groups. And anytime a so-called democratic government is unleashing extra state forms of coercion in the form of vigilante groups or paramilitary groups, you have to seriously worry about the future of that democracy.